if the banks are as stressed, I mean, you agree with that statement that banks are under a lot of stress?
Yes, of course.
So if the banks are under such a lot of stress, I mean, these are banks that, to be fair, 2-3 years ago were reporting profits in the billions of, quarterly profits in the billions of rupees. So if they are so stressed, don't you think that domestic restructuring of this nature, and we agree that restructuring of treasury bills is unprecedented.
Right.
So in the event that we see that kind of sort of extreme domestic debt restructuring, couldn't it trigger a collapse in the banking system?
Yes, of course. There is also, like for example, if you take Ireland, Ireland had an economic crisis because of a banking crisis. And we were looking at it like Ireland, the whole banking crisis started when non-performing loans started hitting the double digits. But currently in Sri Lanka, we are at around 12%. So even not about non-performing loans, even loans that are a bit stressed would come to around 33%. Ravi might know better. So, but like I said, I'm not advocating for domestic debt restructuring, but for example, I wouldn't really agree with it because of the factors. Some of them were kept constant, the rates were, but you know, Verite put out a thing saying that if, for example, even if the bondholders took a 50% haircut in principle, in their principal itself, and the bilaterals took a 25 thing, at this rate, in 10 years, our debt would still go up to 136 without a domestic restructuring. So there are certain ways we can tackle it otherwise. One is increasing taxes. So that is not going to be very politically sustainable. Second is through inflation. So, you know, we can inflate our rupee, reduce it down. That is also not going to be another thing. The third thing would be, in my opinion, an easier thing would be, you know, rapid privatization, sort of this thing. Go for the domestic restructuring and use the money from the privatization thing to use as a fund that the IMF requires the central bank to sort of put a roadmap to recapitalize the banks.